Hey guys, what's up? It's Ray. Welcome back to Studio. So today we are going to debunk certain rumors about architecture school, and I'll let you know if these rumors are true or not. This video is broken up into two parts. This is the first part, and if you want to watch the second part, there will be a link in the down bar below, or you can click this little button that says I for information and just open that up and it should bring you to the second video. With that said, let's begin. The truth is, not all students pull all-nighters. It really depends on what type of student you are. For example, if you're in high school and you have an essay due on Monday, are you going to be the type of student that kind of plays video games and hangs out with friends on Friday night, rolls over to Saturday night, and then finally on Sunday night you're kind of like, oh, I should start writing my paper? Then chances are you're that type of person that might pull an all-nighter in architecture school. But there are other students in architecture school that chooses to stay in architecture school overnight just to make sure that they got everything done for a presentation or for whatever crit they have. This is because the school provides the equipment and facilities that you need to do this. Sometimes when you're at home and you want to plot like a large sheet of drawing out just to do some markups, you really don't have that option because not everyone owns a plotter. But in architecture school, sometimes the CAD lab or the computer lab opens really late, so then you have the option of using the plotters and using all these different resources. So if you were to say all architecture students pull all-nighters, I would say that's not completely true, because again, it really depends on what type of student you are and whether or not you want to be in school. And don't take it as if all-nighters are mandatory or like an obligation for you. It's your choice. Like, you could choose to stay overnight or not, and you could choose to stay up all night or not. So it's really just up to you. If someone tells you that, oh, you want to go to architecture school, well, get ready for all-nighters. They're just preparing you mentally in case it ever happens. But chances are it probably won't even happen to you. For me, I've only stayed over school, I think twice, and I stayed up like all night. Roughly like about, I don't know, I lost count, but then I would say like a good 20 times out of my whole 5 years of architecture school, so it's not too bad. So this rumor came up when I was doing a little bit of research again on rumors about architecture school, and this was really funny to me. I don't think I've seen a guy or a girl go on a diet or starve themselves because they're too busy for work or they're too busy doing something in architecture school. In fact, I've seen a lot of people, including myself, just ordering food like every other hour because we're always so hungry, because we're always constantly working, we're constantly on the computer drafting, we're constantly building models, we're going up and down the stairs to the wood shop. I really haven't noticed anyone starving themselves or just not eating because they're working. But I do have to say that sometimes I am guilty for skipping meals because I actually just forget to eat. It's not that I choose to starve myself or choose not to eat. It's just that I was so busy, you know, building a model that the time flew by. Like, it completely just escaped me. And when I realized that I forgot to eat, it's like 6 o'clock in the evening, and it's really funny because that's how time works in architecture school, and sometimes you do miss meals because you forget to eat. But I would say students don't really just skip meals because they choose to. It's just really because they forget to. For this rumor, I actually think there might be like a half and half, because I had some professors who were strict and critical, but I wouldn't say they were mean. Like, they weren't like mean-spirited or they weren't evil necessarily. They just really wanted you to do well, so they would kind of push you to your limit sometimes. But I also had a lot of professors who were really, really nice, and sometimes the mean professors are actually the ones that push you to do the best. I haven't had a professor who was so mean that I hated him or her, but I remember there was one professor who wasn't my professor. He was another studio's professor, and this professor allegedly, or I don't know, apparently took a student's model and brought it to the wood shop and sawed his model in half and gave it to another student. which is weird. Like, I didn't believe it at first. I still don't even know if it's true or not, but that's just like the meanest thing I've heard, and it's something that I can't really confirm. So I would just have to say that professors aren't really mean. They're just really there to help you, and sometimes their method might not be the method for you, so that's when you kind of have to decide whether or not you want to stick with this professor or jump to another studio. So this is the last rumor, but don't forget this is only part 1. There's a part 2, and if you want to watch that, click this little I button here again, and you can go to the second part of the video. I know I've done a video on this called Bad Blood in Architecture, and it was done in my Sketchaway Ray channel, so if you guys want to check that out, you can go there as well. But I would say, to answer this rumor or to address this rumor, I would say that architecture students generally are not competitive or mean-spirited, or there's no like bullying going on or anything like that, or at least for me. It was just that one case where it got a little bit out of hand. I was just really pissed, and I kind of, you know, talked about it a little bit in that video. But I would say architecture students aren't competitive in a way where it's like you have to be better than each other. It's more like we like to build each other up. We like to critique each other in a friendly way, or even like in a constructive way. Students within studios would try to help each other in terms of like, if I don't know how to work the software, then, you know, maybe this guy could help me. If this person doesn't know how to, you know, cut something with one of the power tools, I could show them. So it's kind of like that. It's not like, oh, I don't know how to do this drawing then, and I wouldn't get help. It's more like, I don't know how to do this drawing, and I could help, or I could get help from my friend. And that's something that's really amazing about architecture school, is that people are so mature and so well-mannered. It's only because, you know, those who choose to go to architecture school, I believe, is the people that really want to succeed and really want to do something that matters, instead of just like, you know, going to college because their parents want them to go to college. It's more like you're going to architecture school because you want to learn and you want to be a better person. So with that said, I think that architecture students are not mean-spirited. They're not competitive, besides that one person that I was mentioning in the video. So that's it for this part of the video. I will see you in part 2, but if I don't see you in part 2, here is my goodbye. But I do hope to see you in part 2 because I have some more rumors to debunk.